Gentlemen, great to have you on. Dr. Greer, to you first. So you promised us all a massive disclosure by Inauguration Day. That didn't happen. What happened?
Okay. I don't even know where to begin with this video, but Dr. Stephen Greer, about a week ago, went on Newsmax on a show called Finnerty, and he spoke about the claim, right? He responded to the claim that he was, right, claiming that on Inauguration Day for President Trump, we were going to have disclosure, right? And that never happened. Well, he responded in this interview to that very claim, right? I mean, everyone was asking, right? I made videos about it. Hey, you said disclosure was coming. Dr. Greer, where is it? What happened? The answer he gives is absolutely bonkers. Y'all, I don't even know what to say. There's a lot here, and if any of it is true, we're in for quite the year. But I have to be honest, I'm a little skeptical. Take a listen.
After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy.
All right, the question, I guess, is do you buy that? Joining us now for more on what that means is the founder of the Disclosure Project, Dr. Stephen Greer, and retired Air Force Brigadier General Blaine Holt. Gentlemen, great to have you on. Dr. Greer, to you first. So you promised us all a massive disclosure by Inauguration Day. That didn't happen. What happened?
Well, Jake Barber, who came out on another network, not yours, with two of his colleagues, released a few seconds of a retrieval of a non-human intelligence craft. It looked like about a 25-foot egg-shaped object. And that was not his retrieval, but someone else who was working with. It's the tip of a very large iceberg. And what he was asked to do by the intelligence community is to release that more slowly over the next year in preparation for the new administration and intelligence officials to set up a platform for all this coming out with full detail. I know that what they have is an enormous amount of information. It's on a blockchain system I can't talk about.
Okay.
It's extensive. It will include retrieval of non-human craft. I know they also have a human craft that they've imaged that are reverse engineered.
Dr. Greer, I just
craft.
went tight on time, so I just want to, I know there are people at home shaking their heads saying, you know, Dr. Greer's full of it. We were waiting for this disclosure.
Yeah, me too.
What is this disclosure?
Well, the disclosure will be an affirmative amount of evidence about the fact that we're not alone. Some people call them alien. They're called now non-human intelligence. I think the part of it that's in question is where they release the information about the reverse engineered craft that are man-made. The majority of objects we've seen are man-made. A lot of the objects that were drones that couldn't be explained as normal drones that people see were certainly not alien. They were these very advanced technologies, as they're called, or ATs, that the aerospace companies have developed over the last 70 years or so.
All right, so I know it starts off with them talking about the drones, but you know, it's going to be kind of part of these clips that I'm playing, so I wanted to leave that part in. But look, look his response, right? What are we talking? And then the newscaster cuts him off. Like, let him finish this part, dude. I want to hear what he has to say here. So basically, Dr. Greer is saying, right, he's asked a question, hey, what happened to disclosure? You said that was coming. That didn't happen. And Dr. Stephen Greer immediately cuts to, well, Jake Barber came out, this whistleblower and his two friends on another network, not yours, and says that he was told by the intelligence community to drag this out for a year, which Jake Barber, right, has said in the next 12 months, right? So he kind of was already saying that, right? So drag it out for the next year, right? Disclosure, and that they have some sort of blockchain thing. I don't know too much about that, to be honest with you. I associate that with crypto, so I'm not even sure. But some database that has all of this information that is going to get released, or what's going. He's like, I can't talk about it, and then he proceeds to talk about it, which is hilarious. So Jake Barber and his team have this sort of blockchain of information that they're going to be peppering out, I guess. And over the next 12 months, I mean, guys, I'll be honest. If in the next 12 months we don't get sort of a global acceptance of disclosure that we're not only are we not alone, but they're here and we can interact with them, aliens I'm talking about, right? Where are these people going to go from there if that doesn't happen in 12 months, right? These are the biggest claims I've heard in a long time in the UFO community, maybe ever. I can't really think of any claims bigger than this, even going through history, that disclosure is, these are big claims that disclosure is coming. It's never been this big before, this much attention. So if it doesn't happen, like, where are they going to go, right? But this is so interesting what Dr. Stephen Greer is saying, right? So that's why he's saying it didn't come on Inauguration Day, because he was told by the intelligence community to wait another year for the incoming administration, right? It seems like it always gets kicked down the path longer, but can they go down? Can they do that again in a year and kick it down another year? Well, we've made a lot of progress, and we didn't get to the end, but we did a lot in this year. So I expect this year, it's going to happen. That's probably what's going to happen in a year, right? That'll be what's told. But who knows? I don't know. But this is all revelatory, right? That there's this blockchain of information that Jake Barber and his team have, and that he was told by the intelligence community. Again, this is all according to Dr. Stephen Greer. He was told by the intelligence community to let's milk this, I guess, maybe for a year. Right. Let's leak out this information. We'll give disclosure slowly over the next course of a year. So that's the news story from Dr. Greer. We'll be getting it over the course of the next year. Right. And, I don't know. Right. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, look, this doesn't end here, because the guy that's on with Dr. Stephen Greer, this guy, this retired Brigadier General, Blaine Holt, I never even heard of this guy, and what he's about to say is also just what, right? Where did this guy come from, right? So again, they're talking about the drones, so just pay attention, all right, to what this gentleman has to say. I don't even know where to go.
General Holt, do you buy that? Is the White House telling us the truth?
I think the White House is operating off of a truth that they've been given. I find Carolyn Levitt to be a woman of integrity and honor, and I think that the information that she's been given is inaccurate. I agree with Dr. Greer. I absolutely do not refute that there are extraterrestrials and that more will be coming out. However, what I will tell you is that the FAA can't produce the licenses, the Part 107 licenses for all of the drones that continue to fly over our skies this night. Some of them the size of RVs and cars. Wait a minute. The Chinese definitely have RV sized in their CH-10 and their CH-7 series drones. So what we need to do is we need to dive into who's misinforming the president this early on in his administration. We need to route that out. We need to find out what's going on across this nation, because I'm going to tell you right now, Rob, it's just the tip of the iceberg, and it's part of something much bigger, and it's going to keep on, and it definitely involves earthly powers, not extraterrestrial ones. But out of respect, wow, I will tell you, Dr. Greer is absolutely correct. We will learn more about our friends from other worlds.
What? Who is this guy? Where did he come from, and what is he talking about? He basically just agreed with Dr. Greer on some of this, right? He's saying more will come out, right, about this. That I don't refute, these extraterrestrial. I mean, I just don't even know. It's like, who is this guy? Where did he come from, right? Talking about this, right? We are going to learn more about these extraterrestrials. I mean, he said it so nonchalantly, right? I just, I don't know. Just never heard of this guy. So just coming out saying this is kind of interesting, considering his credibility, because I looked him up. I mean, check this out. Now, this is an older picture of him, but I mean, he has got an amazing, resume here, right? His background, his service to our country, the medals, the awards. I mean, this guy is no joke. Right. And for him to say that I find it fascinating because it's just like, where did he come from? Right. You know, I don't know. Very interesting. Now, I did look him up on one other podcast because I thought it was kind of interesting. He doesn't do a lot of interviews. And in fact, there's a particular reason he's on Newsmax. Check this out.
There is some activity going on in the skies all over the U.S., and we need to talk about this. Dave hit me up yesterday and was like, hey, man, let's see if we can get General Holt on and talk about it. And thankfully, he's one of the wonderful resources that we have right here in North Idaho, and he's in person here in studio. If you're watching the video, he has to have his face blurred out due to a contract with Newsmax. That's what it is for now. We're not trying to hide anything. So thank you, sir. We have with us retired Air Force Brigadier General Blaine Holt. Always a pleasure to have you in studio.
Oh, it's great to be back. I'm just so happy that you called.
Now, so he does that podcast, and they have to blur out his face, and they're talking about the drones. This is back in December, right? But listen to, so they blur out his face because he, his contract with Newsmax. But listen to what he says during the course of this interview about just the way he talks about aliens and UFOs in this setting, right? And again, this is just a month ago. It's just a much different tone to it. So it's not so much what he says, but it's just how he says it. I mean, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. I got 2 clips of it. So here's clip number 1.
Okay, so John Kirby, a.k.a. Pinocchio, is there and telling us, no, New Jersey forgot what airliners look like, and that's what's going on here. Gotcha. So that's what's happening. Okay, lie. No, New Jersey knows what an airliner looks like. Thanks, though. And then he comes back next week and says, well, for the good of the public and not to alarm anybody, we were using our test corridor to test our anti-hypersonics weaponry of this new drone that we got from the aliens that they gave us through high-end technology. And here, have an orb.
There's your
Come
permits.
on. So the thing is, this...
All right, so it's, again, not so much what he's saying, but how he's saying it. He's talking about John Kirby, who was, I believe, like Pentagon press secretary. Anyway, he was always giving these press conferences and statements, has been for the last couple of years in the Biden administration. And he definitely gave some about the drones and whatnot. And just interesting the way he describes this. Clearly, none of that was said by John Kirby, but it's just how he talks about aliens and this and that, Now, again, maybe he's just, having a little whiskey, drinking with his buddies. Can't show his face, all blurred, but, could be some of that. I don't know. Here's another clip.
This is crazy.
So is there any chance that these are aliens? I got to ask that.
And I'm going to give you a qualified 0% chance.
Okay. All right.
Although,
All right.
I think if they could have spun that fable up and somebody would have jumped on it, they would have gone. They would have.
Yeah.
If they're looking for what the public will take the bait on. So it's blue beam.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Okay, it's blue beam, but how many people think it's blue beam? Oh, 100 million people think it's blue beam. Okay, we're going with that. It's blue beam. So that's how they run their own psyops.
If they didn't have lights on it, the alien thing might be more plausible.
So, again, that's literally what Dr. Stephen Greer talks about, right? Project Bluebeam, which is just like this fake alien invasion, right, that the government would use to sort of take control, right? A false flag event, right, if you will. And he's kind of just like laughing about that, but that's literally what Dr. Stephen Greer talks about. And then on the Newsmax thing, he's kind of agreeing with him. I don't know. It seemed like it just doesn't make sense. This is just a month ago of him talking about this with the drones, right? And he doesn't think it involves aliens at all. And Dr. Greer would argue that it involves reverse engineered alien tech, not actually alien tech. But, what's the difference, I guess, at that point? But, right, it's just like it doesn't line up. He's saying he's kind of agrees with Greer. I'd be curious, like, more follow-up questions to Mr. Holt of what exactly he means by we'll find out more about these extraterrestrials, right? Is he agreeing with Dr. Stephen Greer that in the next 12 months we'll have disclosure? I mean, first of all, so I don't know. I don't know what to think of this gentleman. Clearly, I mean, in the sense that he served our country, I respect the hell out of him. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't know how much he actually believes in the UFO and alien phenomena. Right, that could have been him just being more cordial on the Newsmax show with Dr. Stephen Greer, right? I don't know. Just be curious to get a little more information, right, from him about that. Because, again, there isn't much. Go look. There's really nothing from this guy talking about UFO. I couldn't find anything, right, except this Newsmax thing, right? Just like, what? Who is this guy talking about this? So this is new. Maybe he'll come out and say more things. Clearly, he has some contract with Newsmax, so maybe we'll see more with him on with Dr. Stephen Greer. I don't know. But that is interesting, right? I mean, look, at the end of the day, you know, this video is really just about, you know, Dr. Stephen Greer responding, right, to, I don't want to say failing, because it's not like it was on his shoulders, but he prophesized that we would have disclosure by X time. That didn't happen. It got pushed back again. And, you know, what he revealed about Jake Barber and his team with this blockchain and what they're going to be doing over the next 12 months is kind of interesting. I mean, what they have on there, you know, so we'll hear more, I'm sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you've heard of this Holt guy before. Again, nothing but respect for the guy, you know, served our country, awards out the wazoo, you know, done so much. Nothing but respect for him. All I was trying to point out was interesting his comments about UAP and aliens. I don't know how much he actually thinks, you know, we're being visited here. One thing is to believe that we're not alone in the universe. Another thing is to believe we're not alone on this planet, right? There's two different things, right? So anyway, tell me in the comments what you think. We'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep.